Welcome to our podcast, Parenting by the Pint. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, Minivan Mafia. Lauren and I are longtime friends from Chicagoland that love getting together to chat about life, kids, family, and beer.
Each week, we'll feature a brewery and sample at least 2 of their beers.
We'll also discuss a variety of topics ranging from parenting, pop culture, travel, marriage, and just about anything else that comes to mind. Welcome, everybody. I hope you didn't forget about us.
We're back.
Yay! So yeah, we took kind of a long break, and hopefully that never happens again. It is my hope that we never have to take another break like that. You know, we had some holiday related things kind of happen, and I also had my father pass away, which was sort of expected, but just has kind of consumed my life, reasonably.
Totally reasonable, yes.
For the last month or so, and now we're finally getting back into a groove, which feels really good.
Yes.
I'm very happy to be doing that. This is what I
back
wanted.
Together, back into a routine, and so we're back. We're back,
so
everybody.
We're back. So let's dive right in.
Yeah.
And we're gonna drink Southern Tier Brewing today, and it's going to seem weird because it's kind of a holiday themed beer sampling, which of course would have made sense if we had had it a month ago. But here we are, and we refuse to
I'm not wasting
ignore it.
beer, so
Certainly
that's alcohol abuse.
Yeah, so
I'm not
we're-
doing that.
Absolutely. So
yeah.
we're going to, let's just dive into the first one.
Yes.
What do we got here, Lauren?
We are drinking Frosted Sugar Cookie Imperial Ale. It is a limited edition one, and that's what we're going to start with.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
can't
will
waste
say
this.
that although we haven't gotten together, I certainly have had my share of beer over the last month or so. I definitely did not stop drinking.
That feels reasonable as well, actually. I think the other day I just said, I really need a beer. And we concurred, and we said, all right, we need to get back together.
Let's get in the swing of things, and I'm really glad we are.
Me too.
So let's try this Frosted Sugar Cookie.
Yeah, it's an Imperial Ale, I don't even know what an Imperial Ale is anymore, because this isn't what I expected to see from an Imperial Ale.
I don't even know anymore. Maybe it's the 4 weeks of break. We're going to get back into it.
Yes. Okay, so it tastes almost malty to me. Maybe that's the sugar cookie?
I was going to say, it's got like the malted milk ball kind of, which is like beer / sugary cookie.
Yeah.
Not to use literally those words.
Literally what the title is.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm getting.
It does taste like a sugar cookie, though. Like, it
doesn't smell like a sugar cookie. It doesn't really smell...
It doesn't smell like anything.
Yeah, it doesn't... I mean, it
There's
smells
not
like a regular ale.
Strong aroma one way or the other. I mean, it smells like an ale, but there's no other kind of...
The sugar cookie, flavor isn't coming through on the aroma, which I kind of enjoy when breweries trick you a little bit with the aroma versus the flavor.
Fair,
It can go badly.
I don't love when the aroma is good and strong and then the taste is flat, but this I feel like is the opposite. The aroma just smells like an ale, and when you taste it, it actually does taste like a sugar cookie. It tastes like that malty sugary combination that really does. And I think the Imperial Ale description is completely, it doesn't matter at this point. Like, it tastes like a sugar cookie beer to me. So
yeah, no, totally.
So we're just gonna go with that. So yeah. It's got some cute little sugar cookies on the bottle.
It is very festive.
It's very festive.
Very Christmas.
It caught my eye a month ago, and I was like, you know what? We should do the holiday theme, so we're doing it now. But I haven't really drank much from Southern Tier, so they're actually from New York.
Okay.
Southern Tier is actually named from the Southern Tier of New York. It's actually kind of the southern part of New York, somewhat west of the Catskills, but it's referred to as the Southern Tier. So They're out of Lakewood, New York.
Okay.
On their website, it says a quiet road on a wooded property in Lakewood, New York.
That sounds so peaceful.
It does sound very peaceful. So the brewery's been around for a while. This one's been around since 2002. So it's longer than a lot of the other breweries that we've had. Obviously not the ancient ones, but, you know, pretty long for, you know, some of the more recent.
A modern brewery, if you will.
Correct,
But
yes.
older.
Yeah, so 2002. It was actually started by Finn and Sarah, were the founders, along with Sarah's dad,
Husband
Skip.
and wife?
Husband and wife.
Yes.
And Sarah's dad, Skip.
Okay.
So Finn had started homebrewing in college. Shocker, I know.
What?
And then he decided he wanted to go back to school, learn how to brew. Went to Siebel, came, and actually worked at Goose Island from 1998 until they decided to move back to New York.
Okay.
So the reason that they moved back to New York is because that's where his wife was actually from, is Lakewood, New York, where they were founded.
Okay.
But the two of them were working at a brewery together, actually, in New York, where they met. So their whole like history is beer, really.
Awesome. I love that.
So then they moved to Chicago, then they moved back to New York, and they wound up opening it in 2002 with the help of her dad, who owned a ski resort actually in New York. And then her sister is married to someone who owns the brewery where they met at, actually. So there's like a ton of like brewing things in their background, which
they're beer themed couple.
Yeah, literally. Like they are a beer themed couple. But so it opened in 2002. They started with a small batch with used equipment from another old brewing company. In 2003, they actually had their grand opening and they began distributing kind of locally. They continued to expand, so they added on 20,000 square foot building in 2009. Started a state-of-the-art bottling line, which at the time in 2009 was a lot. They had a capacity of 10,000 bottles per hour, which was huge for back then and for their facility.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so they continued to expand. In 2012, they installed a completely new brew house and tasting room. The brew house was actually built in Germany, and they assembled it in New York.
Oh, yeah.
So super cool. And then they added another 45,000 square foot warehouse and distribution center in 2013.
Wow.
2016, they wound up using their original brewing facility to open Southern Tier Distilling. So this company also owns a distillery, which is in the building where the brewery started. So they have, it's kind of like a campus type building, or campus type area. It sounds like there's multiple different buildings on the property. But they make a whole bunch of different spirits. So they make a variety of different whiskeys. They make a peanut butter, a bourbon, a cinnamon apple, s'mores, confetti cake, and like there were more. Like there's a ton. I was like, I kind of want to try the confetti cake. I'm not lying, but anyways,
I know, right?
They also make a variety of different liqueurs. They also make vodka and gin, and a bunch of different canned cocktails. So margaritas, mules, different things like that.
They're all over
so
the place.
they make a ton of different things.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do they make seltzer?
Not that they saw on their website, but it's possible.
Well,
so no
saying.
seltzers on there.
Not aware of any.
On the Southern Tier, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm gonna nope out of that.
Let's say no.
But then they continue to expand outside of even New York. So in 2017, they opened a tap room in Pittsburgh, and then they opened one in Cleveland, and then they opened one in Charlotte, and they also have one in Buffalo, New York.
Holy cow!
So they're huge. They now produce over 100,000 barrels of beer annually. So, I mean, it's a pretty substantial...
That's a lot. That's pretty impressive.
Right? Like, it's a pretty big operation.
Yeah.
They distribute to around a little over 30 different states now.
Okay.
So I bought this here and,
I was gonna
at
say,
my local.
I
So
was
it's not
gonna
like
say
I didn't have to go outside of, I think it was like 10 minutes away from my house. So they must distribute with someone relatively locally. I don't know how far west they go, but
sure.
But yeah, so they've done very well for themselves, husband and wife. They have 3 kids, I think. They have a set of twins.
Oh, man.
I know, they're everywhere. So
They're everywhere, man. You're right.
Twins are everywhere. It's in the water.
Oh.
But yeah, so I thought it was a pretty cool story. And, her dad actually sold his shares back to them in 2008. So it's actually just the husband and wife that own the company now. Like, their dad helped, get them off the ground because he had the capital and some networking and whatnot because he, owned a resort, type property, but now it's just them. So husband and wife team, and they've done very well for themselves and continued expanding. And I mean, this is the first I think I've really had from them, but obviously we don't live near New York, so
right.
But yeah,
that was really interesting.
Yeah, so
good
pretty
for them.
cool.
This is great. Southern
Yeah.
Tier. I had no idea they were as large as they are.
No.
I'd heard of them. And I think that Bavarian Lodge has had their stuff on occasion.
I bet. I do feel like I have seen their limited release seasonal stuff, for a variety of different things. Because I recognize, so they also have on their logo. Their logo, they said, there's a brewer's star. It represents water, hops, grain, malt, yeast, and the brewer. Is how they describe their logo.
Oh, I like that.
So yeah, I've seen their stuff before. I just don't think I've ever really had it, to be honest with you. So
well, and I would say the same about how I believe that I've seen it at the lodge, but I don't know if I've ordered anything. From them.
So it was kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, and they have a bunch of different tap rooms. Like, we were talking about heading over to Ohio and Pennsylvania actually this summer on a road trip. So if we're anywhere near Cleveland or Pittsburgh, maybe we'll stop and check it out, Their Lakewood location has supposedly a large outdoor beer garden, and
cool.
It sounds like there's quite a bit of space. You can tour the distillery. I don't believe they're doing tours of the brewery. I'm not 100% sure that I have to check their website, but it sounds like a kind of a cool place to visit if you're anywhere near there. I don't anticipate being in New York anytime soon, but
I actually,
if you are.
funnily enough, my family, and by my family I mean my immediate family and my brother's family and my mother have all had conversations about doing something for President's Day weekend. And at one point, my sister-in-law yesterday proposed that we just go online and see where the cheapest flight is and go there.
I like it. I've wanted to do that for myself, not actually for my family, but like a girls' trip, just literally be like, all right,
where's the best?
Where can we go? And literally just book that flight and figure it out. You and I should do that sometime.
I will totally, especially because I kind of started doing that after she proposed the idea. And you mentioned New York, and Buffalo, New York was on the list, but Buffalo, Niagara. So we would go to, if we went, we would go to Niagara Falls.
We should get some chicken wings and some beer. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of that, in my opinion.
My only concern is, I don't know if you recall, but just a few weeks ago, Buffalo got 6 feet of snow.
Yes, they got an excessive amount of snow. So
February,
perhaps May, June?
Yeah, I don't know that February is the best time to plan a trip to Niagara Falls. That would be my
probably not.
thought.
I have been to Niagara, the Canadian side, but I don't.
That seems to be most people's
I think
experience.
it was spring-ish, later in the spring.
And while many people believe that the falls would be frozen, I did read that it never really freezes.
No, they never really freeze.
It hasn't frozen in 100 years.
Yeah,
it's been a really long time.
There's too much flow for it to freeze, I think. There's too much movement.
Yeah, so I did propose Niagara Falls, and my brother immediately vetoed that idea because he does not want to go somewhere even colder than we live.
Actually reasonable, yeah.
So then there were conversations about different places. I suggested Arizona because some of the flights to Arizona were pretty reasonable. And we kind of, I don't know, went back and forth on that. And then my brother suggested Boston because Boston flights were pretty reasonable.
Which is also not warm.
No, it isn't. Because his daughter wants to look at MIT.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what are me and my kids gonna do?
Right, while you go in college visit.
I was like, what do they have there other than the Cheers bar for my kids? Which is not for kids.
They have a place that is an amusement park, and it has little kid things, but I don't remember what it's called in Boston, outside of Boston.
Yeah, but is it a summer place or a winter place?
No, it's a summer place.
Yeah.
Probably not so much. There's not going to be much for you to do in Boston.
So we kind of like have given up on the idea of doing the random flight. Not completely.
Sure.
I actually think that my brother's family is probably going to go to Boston.
Yeah, well, there you
and
go.
leave us behind. And we'll see what happens with that. But yes, we did have a Buffalo, New York.
Okay.
I know that seemed like a random tangent, but when you said
You know
they were
what?
in
That's
Buffalo,
okay.
I
Yeah,
was like,
Buffalo.
ding,
It
I got to
clicked,
bring up my
clicked.
random trip idea.
I like it. Now I want to plan a random trip. All right, we need to just pick a weekend, and then we just figure out what airfare is the cheapest.
I love that
weekend.
idea, and I will say that I applied for my passport, and
Mm-hmm.
it should be here any week now. So once that is
Fantastic.
in, we don't even have to limit ourselves with location.
Love it.
And I'll even put this out to you, and then you guys, I promise, we'll talk about what we want to talk about. I really want to plan a trip to Iceland with some people that want to go to Iceland.
Yeah, I'm in for that one.
But
sure.
in like November, when there's like northern lights,
guaranteed northern lights,
actual darkness, because my family is going to go.
You're gonna go when it's all sun.
It's 100.
Literally, it's like Alaska. It's
hours
gonna be
and 17
sun.
minutes of sunlight while we will be there, and then whatever's left, you can do the math.
Yeah, not much.
43 minutes of what they call like a dusk.
Yeah, there's still
sort of.
sun though. It's still like there's still the reflection. There's never
It's
gonna
not
be
dark.
darkness.
It's not dark.
All right,
Yeah.
we will plan an Iceland
I
trip.
would really
I'm
like to
in
do
for
that.
this. That sounds fantastic. But for fall,
They're supposed to have great breweries. Like they're supposed to have a good handful of really great breweries
All right,
in Iceland.
I'm definitely in for this.
So we could call it a podcast trip.
We can call it. That sounds great. I'm in.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Okay, so
Right.
now we're
So
not
let's-
actually talking about vacations today, even though now I'm trying in
Now
my
we're
head
sort
to
of
plan
like
vacations.
like that's where our heads are at.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we're going to talk about something else.
Yeah,
We're going to talk
yeah, yeah.
about. We've been meaning to talk about this for a while because almost a year ago I had my floors refinished in my house, and when I did, I had to move literally all of my furniture out. And as a result, it made me kind of like examine all of the things that I own and what my house looks like and all of these things
Yeah.
and what have I, and I started to sort of redecorate. I didn't go and spend a bunch of money like replacing perfectly good things.
Yeah.
But I did I repainted the majority of my house, and I did buy a couple of pieces of furniture and things like that, and kind of decide where to hang paintings and things like that.
Right, yeah.
And so it made me think we should talk about decorating. Yeah. What's your attitude about it? What's my attitude about it? And what I learned about myself going through that process is that I think I might be a less is more type person. I'm not I don't have a bunch of knickknacks on the walls and things like that. I have discovered, I'll use my in-laws as an example, and I don't mean for this to sound negative, but they have there's 5 pictures in the bathroom of a little bouquet of flowers and a little, stamped looking picture frame
There's
of
just a
a
lot
seashell.
of stuff that is unnecessary.
And I'm just I don't have stuff like that. I have stuff I have a picture in the bathroom and that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not a bunch of stuff. And
I mean, on the one wall, it's a kind of a big wall. I have 3 little pictures of rubber ducks because at the time, the theme of the bathroom, along with the shower curtain, because it was the children's bathroom.
Sure.
It was rubber ducks because the twins hadn't even been born yet when we moved into this house. I mean, it
Right.
was 2 days, but they
Yeah,
hadn't
sure.
technically been born yet. So it was just rubber ducks. But if it wasn't that theme, I don't think I would really have much on the wall. In our half bath upstairs, it's also themed. I feel like there's always a theme. And it's got a mustache.
I know, I love your bath. I actually, while I was talking about bathrooms, I was like, oh, but I really like Lauren's mustache bathroom. And I was like, I hope she doesn't think that I don't
I'm
want
totally
her to
not
bring
offended.
that up.
Yeah. But
'Cause I
it's
love the
got
mustache
it's got
bathroom.
the mustache, and then it's got 4 just smaller things of old fashioned vintage just those a comb or those things. But I feel I some of my house is like hand-me-down chic, and some of my house is like actually looks put together, but it's not all put together by any means.
I think that's because we are actually at the age where we are starting to like design our own
like
rooms.
I'm starting to replace crap that people gave me because
like,
I'm like, oh, I can afford new stuff now.
Like I used to have in my dining room years ago, I used to have or my kitchen table rather, a table that the guy who used to clean my parents' carpets was throwing away.
And just didn't have anywhere to put it. Yeah.
He asked my dad if anybody wanted it, and it was like right after we moved into our house and we took this thing.
Yeah.
I still have a couple of the chairs. I threw the table out eventually, but I still have some of the chairs from that set.
My dining room table upstairs is my godparents when they were getting rid of their furniture to buy new furniture. And we just... Until recently, we really didn't use the dining room that often.
Okay.
So I just never cared to replace it.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
respect
fine. It's it's got 6 chairs that all are functional, and the table's in good shape.
Yeah.
And they didn't need to get rid of it. They just did. And I put a tablecloth on it, whatever the current holiday is, so nobody sees it anyways.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, eh. Now, we did replace and bought an actual new kitchen table, which I hate because it's grooved.
Oh, does gunk get in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stuff gets in there. And not only does stuff get in there, but now whenever the kids have to do homework, they have to put like a folder under their paper. So if I would have thought about this,
hindsight's 20/20
I would have
with
gone
stuff
back
like that.
and been like, a smooth
That's
table
a good tip, though.
is the way to go if you're going to do anything, eat or write on it.
My brother used to have a table that had tile on it, and it was the same problem as a kitchen table. It was like you would eat on this thing, and every little crease, every little
groove,
groove would have, and you'd have to like scrape it out.
It's a giant pain in my butt.
It's a pain.
Yeah,
it is.
So
I actually have some end tables in my basement that I was gifted, and they were new when I got them, but it was a gift to us. Where it's that table surface that has like one groove, like a square along the edge of the table. And when I do the thing where I like take a picture of the beer I'm drinking for Instagram, I have to like put the glass on top of the groove area because otherwise you can see all of the little things.
Stuff that collects,
like cookie crumbs and stuff that I eat while drinking my chocolate stout.
Totally get it,
Because otherwise you would see my disgustingness in my beautiful photo.
I totally understand. I know now that I'm over 40, I'm like, oh yeah, these are things that I need to learn. Needed to learn.
You figure out your likes and dislikes, and some of it is functional, practical stuff like this. And some of it is like, oh, I realize that I don't like,
whatever kind of decor or style or
want
whatever
frilly, or I want simplicity, or I like modern sleek design or whatever.
For sure.
Whatever.
I do or don't like rustic or whatever. And everybody has their own style. I do think that as we're kind of getting into our own, getting rid of the things that were given to us and picking out things that we actually prefer
want.
is when your house becomes more like what you... Now, I will say that some of our furniture is just functional because of the children still.
Yeah.
So, like, we had a cloth love seat that was given to us by, again, my godparents, which was great for a period, but we have children, and you can't clean that very easily. So...
Yeah, I'm not going to say it was a mistake. About a year ago, we bought a new couch for our living room, and it's a cloth couch, and I do like it, and it's very comfortable, and we are pretty strict about like no eating and things like that on it. I will say that the kittens have scratched it a little bit in one area, but they're kind of in one little spot, and it looks like they've stopped.
That's good.
Like, I think we've kind of beaten it out of them.
To be like, you can't do that.
Yeah, a lot of squirt guns and a lot of cardboard scratching devices to deter them. And I like the couch. It's very, very comfortable, and I like what it looks like and everything. But I will say that, like, someday, and maybe 5 or 10 years from now, whenever that day comes, and I would replace it,
Yeah.
I would probably get a leather couch.
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're easier to maintain, and they do look very nice.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And they're just as comfortable. My husband complains about them being like cold in the winter and hot in the summer.
It's only if like it's right by the window.
Well,
where,
it's
like,
only for like the first minute you sit
right.
down,
and
most
then
of the
it's
time.
your butt making it warm. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, like I have a recliner in the basement, which is where we watch most TV. My husband and I,
Yeah.
because I have a theater down there, and like my recliner is leather.
Yeah.
Although weirdly, where I rest my head has started to like rub off, and it is like a different shade.
Weird.
And I'm trying to figure out if it's my hair dye.
Oh, some sort of chemical reaction to it. Maybe.
Yeah.
Could
What
be.
is going on
I don't
there?
know.
I
don't
noticed it
know.
a few months ago, and I was sort of like, why
Interesting.
is my chair? And then I
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
made the connection. It's like right where my hair is at.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we're going to be in the market for replacing our sectional upstairs in our TV room soon.
Yeah.
Mostly because the children have, like, worn it quite a bit. So, yeah.
Well, I can recommend Costco.
Okay. Oh.
You save a lot of money by buying it at the store if you have the
Okay.
ability to drive it yourself, which you do.
Yeah. we'll
Although I
take the
will say
truck.
that even your husband's pickup truck
Yeah.
is not big enough to get
Not a
all
sectional,
pieces
yeah.
in one trip.
I have friends with pickup trucks.
Yeah,
though,
I was
so
gonna
will
say, well,
just
and I have a
employ
work
friend.
van.
Oh yeah, or I'll just employ you. So,
Yeah, I have a work van that could probably fit 2 to 3 pieces in it because we
Alright.
have a good size transit.
This might be
So-
a
Yeah.
weekend activity at some point when we go to replace it.
My recommendation is, and you didn't hear this from me,
No, got it.
is go online and find the one you want on
Mm-hmm.
Costco's website, and they sometimes will tell you if they have them in the store, but I also have a secret connection to someone who works for Costco corporate that can check inventory.
Fantastic.
I won't name names.
No.
But I will say that that's how I found my
Perfect.
couch
All right.
and the cat tower that we bought.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing soon. This
Yeah.
table was a hand-me-down table.
That you have down
and-
here,
That
yeah?
I have down here. It's in the basement, so, like, I don't care.
Right.
But
That's most of my basement furniture.
It's just like-
kind of the
yeah.
the old school like
this-
replacement stuff.
I think I bought this table we're at off, like, Amazon, like, Facebook
This- I like
Marketplace
this
or something
table.
like that.
This
I
is a
literally
good
bought this
table.
from, like, the old school Craigslist. Like,
Oh, sure.
when we lived in Frankfurt is when I bought this table.
Oh.
So this was like a decade ago.
Yeah.
And I brought it with us because I was like, you know what? It's kind of a nice size.
It's in good
like,
shape.
It's in perfectly fine shape for what it is, and it's square, so it kind of fits nice into a little
Yeah, this is a good
corner.
spot for it.
Yeah.
Every time I sit at this table in your basement, I think about where I would put it in my house.
Yeah, but we're getting rid of this table, and my husband bought a heavy bag that's gonna go, like, this is gonna be a workout area next time
Sure,
you come
yeah.
over. So maybe
I've
not
been
next
thinking a
time,
lot about.
but-
I don't want to jump
yeah.
on the New Year's like bandwagon of like exercising, but
No,
I
but,
am
yeah.
concerned about going on this trip.
You're gonna
I
be
don't
walking
want to
a
be
lot.
out of shape.
Yeah.
So I've started to like part of me is like going the gym route, and part of me is like
Yeah.
trying to independently work out. We have some exercise
Sure,
equipment
sure.
at home, so
Yeah.
like part of me is like.
Yeah, well, my
doing a little
husband
of that.
goes to the gym, and he's been going to the gym for years. So,
Yeah.
like, I'm fine with that. And the twins take MMA, and
Mm-hmm.
they're getting a bag, and they box, and they do things, so they can use it, too.
Oh, cool.
So it's going to go, like, over there, behind you a little
Uh-huh.
bit. And then my mom's been trying to get rid of her stationary bike forever.
Oh.
And I'm going to take that until I convince myself to buy a Peloton.
Yeah, I almost bought a Peloton. I actually ended up buying a stationary bike
Yeah.
on Amazon for like $300. You can actually sign up for Peloton.
You can without a Peloton. Yes, you
Yeah.
can sign up for this. We were at my brother's house or whatever apartment in the city, and they have one. And my daughter actually was like doing like 20 miles on it, like in Costa Rica or somewhere randomly.
My brother has a Peloton, or I guess it's probably my sister-in-law's,
Yeah.
and I think all of the
The
kids,
kids, yeah.
use it. My niece and nephew do cross country, and I think in the winter they use the bike
Just their
to kind of
conditioning,
stay
yeah.
in shape.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're still doing it. That was the original plan.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love exercise bikes because my bottom gets sore riding on the seat. Like,
my favorite is the rower, actually.
Yeah,
that's like one of my favorites. So if somebody I see up for sale, I might, if this is what we're gonna go with this, like, do you want a beverage chiller?
Me?
It's a dispenser in the corner. Brandon really wants to get rid of that.
Maybe.
So think about it.
Let me take some measurements before I
So
head
anyways, my decor that I'm now giving away to things.
Yeah, right?
But it's only a 4-thing beverage dispenser, but I think we're gonna get rid of it.
It might be a good side stop item.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we could talk about that, because that would be good.
So we have a redneck hot tub in the garage.
Yes, I know. I think about it a lot.
And it's fantastic. But when that's on, and now that I have that wine chiller is on, they're all in the same freaking circuit.
Oh, no.
So, like, we have to get rid of the beverage chiller if we want to keep the wine chiller and the hot tub. And those are the priorities.
Yeah,
so
I get that.
We have to get the beverage dispenser has to go.
Yeah, I would say there's a very good chance I would take that at work. Yeah, because the employees would love that. Because we could put beverages in it for them, and they can just grab it. And the refrigerator we have at the side stop is terrible.
So
it's my parents' old broken refrigerator, but not a good old broken refrigerator.
Not like the 1960s one that's still going.
That's eternal.
Yeah,
that's the microwave. We have that microwave. I have a microwave at the side stop that is older than you.
Me. Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed. Yeah. So, anyways, back to topic.
That was still function. That was part of the topic.
It is. I will say that in the decorating, this isn't decorating your house necessarily, but this is holiday decorating.
Yes, I have some thoughts on that.
So as we sit amongst all of my Christmas decorations that still haven't been put away yet, this is totally what happens. Like, I get excited to put them up, and then I kind of dread taking them down, and it always happens when my husband's at work that I bring this 9-foot freaking tree downstairs that weighs a ton by myself, because I don't know why I choose to do that, but I do.
I have that in common with you.
Just like putting together furniture. It always is the day that my husband's at work.
I like to move my son's dresser when I'm alone.
Same. I literally split up the twins' room when my husband was at work, and I took a picture, and he's like, that was a lot. You could have waited for me. And I'm like, yeah, but
I just didn't want to.
I didn't. It was just, it needed to get
done.
done.
Do it now.
But now the bins sit in my basement because they're not upstairs, so it's kind of like they're away, but they're not away.
But they're not. Yeah,
because they belong in the crawl space, and I just haven't gotten them there yet.
I respect that. I was going to say I don't do a ton of, like, and Christmas is really the only holiday, but a little bit of Halloween, but, like, I don't do a lot of holiday decorating. And it's not that I don't like enjoy the holiday.
Sure. Yeah.
It's that I don't have the energy for what you're struggling with
put
right
all
now.
This crap away.
It's honestly the truth. Like, I get excited about taking it all out.
Yeah.
And then I take it all out, and we start putting the stuff in different places across the house, and stockings, and the tree, and
there's so much. We have 4 trees now. It's excessive.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason.
And then I'm just like, when the time comes to put it away, I'm just like, this is why I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
I
totally,
get so exhausted at the idea of dismantling and putting away. And putting it in a spot that I'm like, in my head, I'm like, there's got to be other stuff I would store in this area if I didn't have these things.
True. Yeah.
And I'm really bad about that.
I will say that Christmas...
I have no spirit. Yeah. That's what people would say. I don't have spirit.
Christmas and Halloween are our 2 big holidays. Mm-hmm. Halloween is because we enjoy it. Christmas is because it feels like we have to. And don't get me wrong, like, I get we need a tree and whatnot, but it feels like if we don't, that, like, I'm the Scrooge and I can't do that.
Right.
So I will say the rest of the holidays that I put crap out for is mostly because my mother has gifted me that crap and I have to put it out. So I have, like, a small box of St. Patrick's Day. Who buys St. Patrick's Day decorations?
I don't know.
My mother has given me, and so I put those couple of things out because she comes to my house every, once or twice a week, and
she brings it.
It needs to come out, or she'll be like, "Where was that thing I bought you?" Ooh. And I'm like, "I don't know, somewhere in the crawl space in a box."
Yeah,
So-
I have done that thing where I know my mom is coming, and it's been, she had given me something that I'd never put away.
Yeah.
Like, it's still in the bag she gave it to me
no,
in.
I've done that. And you're like, oh, crap. I got
And I'm like running around doing that thing
Yep.
the 10 minutes before she gets to my
I've
house.
totally,
because I
totally
am a
done that.
disappointment.
You are not. It's just that, like we have talked about before, it's like that is not at the top of the
I can't
priority
help it.
list because there are 400 things above that. And a lot of the times, I would say actually all of the time, decorating is never on the top of my priority list.
That's where I come in.
So-
And that's why I get kind of called a Scrooge sometimes, I think. To move on from holiday decorating and to eventually try this beer you just poured for us, I will say that I'm a big fan of Calyx shelves from IKEA. They're like those cube-shaped shelves.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of those. They can hold
all right.
anything. There's a lot of companies, including IKEA now, that sell like storage bins that fit perfectly in them.
Oh, they're those sized. Okay.
Yeah. So I used to sell 31, and 31 used to make, I think it was called like a Your Way cube.
Yep. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I have like a gajillion of them.
Yeah.
And I used to use them as toy bins. We've been kind of moving away from that now that the kids are getting a little bit older.
Right.
And we're using them for different stuff.
We use one that has all of the gloves and hats.
Yeah, that's
for
good.
winter.
I like that. That's actually genius. We
Yeah.
have a bag that has this stuff in it, and it is not a great
We have
solution.
a bin that is in the storage thing in the hallway that just has hats and gloves. So when they walk out the door, I'm
just
like,
go in
just
there and
grab a pair. And,
Yes,
yeah.
that's genius. I love that. But Calyx shelves are great. You should check it out. They
going
have
to.
like 2 level ones, and you can put them straight up like a bookshelf, or you can put them flat and you could sit on it like it's like a bench.
I think, my twin boy might have one in his room.
Yeah.
Pretty much all of their furniture is from IKEA.
Is IKEA
Like,
stuff. Yeah, we have a lot of that.
There's a lot.
We still have a little bit of hand-me-downs for the kids. My son, I just bought him a new dresser from IKEA. His old dresser was my dresser in my room from like my house in Alsip, which is where we moved when I was in like high school.
Yeah.
But I knew it was at the Worth house too.
Yeah, the twins' dresser, up until we separated their bedrooms, was my brother's old dresser from Worth.
Oh, jeez.
So, and we actually gave it back to my parents to put in the room that the twins use when they stay there.
That's so
Because
funny.
they're two, like, tall dressers that have drawers, so they each can put clothes in one. But we had that in the twins' room that... my brother's 37 years old, so like
if it was his as a child, it's
old.
got some years on it.
Yeah, and it still is functioning probably better than the crap that is in the rooms now, because those things you could walk on. Like the shelves are sturdy.
Yeah, we have Mike's dresser from growing up that used to be in my youngest room until one day I went to IKEA and they had one of their dressers on sale and I immediately bought it. It is the ugliest color. It's like a rust red, but it was really cheap. And it was cheaper than the one I just bought.
Yeah,
and it's like twice the size. It's like a big, wide, long one.
Okay, yeah.
And it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you could put it in a bedroom set for an adult.
Wow,
it's so
that's
great.
nice. Yeah.
But his old dresser was my husband's old dresser, and that thing was a death trap.
Oh.
I mean, it was sturdy. Don't get me
Sure.
wrong. But my husband, I don't know why, had like put hooks on the side so he could hang things from it.
Okay.
But when you have a baby in there, you
This is
don't
a
want there to
recipe
be
for disaster.
hooks sticking out. That's just crazy. So we had some concerns. I had some concerns with the dresser. In classic Mike fashion, he refused to let me throw it away. So now it holds all of our DVDs in the basement. I have a dresser full.
You do have a dresser in the basement. That's
full
true.
of DVDs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
check
that's where
it out.
furniture goes to die, is the basement,
Yeah.
it seems like.
It's such a great thing.
Yeah, I will say the dresser you bought your son, we have in all of the kids' rooms.
It's a good dresser.
All of them have one. My twin boy actually has 2 of that dresser
Nice.
in his room.
Nice.
But every single one of them have that same dresser.
We had a period where my kids were talking about moving in together, and they wanted, and we were going to actually shuffle the rooms a bit. and turn one room into more of like a put a futon with like a TV in there.
Sure. Yeah.
And that ship has maybe sailed. I don't know. They've gone back and forth, which makes me think we probably will never do it. But when we were discussing that, there were some conversations about like, well, we would take one room and we would put like both dressers and both desks in it. And then we would put the TV in there. And then the other room would have the bed.
Sleeping. Yeah. Huh.
Or something like that. And and so we kind of like, if I were to do that, I would have probably gotten my son a different dresser, the one that I just bought, to just like move them together or something, in the big one that my younger kid has.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, other than that, I will say that when I painted my house, I used flat finish, which looks great. It's beautiful, but it scuffs.
Until someone touches it.
It scuffs very easily. It cleans off okay. I have magic erasered a little bit here and there. I also bought one of those little like pen brush things that you can put your paint in, where you can just touch up. I bought one and I put some paint in it for like whatever future occasion turns up. But I don't regret using flat, but I do, because I do like what it looks like. But it does scuff easily.
Down here.
I was gonna say this might be flat.
This down here is because it goes with. So we had the ceiling sprayed.
Okay.
So that's a very matte black, and we didn't want the walls to be a dramatic difference. But
I like that.
The kids don't generally come down here, and we don't move a ton of stuff around. Well, that's a lie. I move bins, but they're not usually by the walls. So,
but you get what I'm saying.
Yes,
I mean, when you do, or if
when
you have,
do, if you
get a lot
exactly,
of that.
and
so I would
notice.
probably. I think that timing wise, it maybe wasn't the right call because my kids are still a little bit young.
You're gonna have to paint again no matter what, so it really doesn't matter.
But in the long term, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
That's probably it. I will say one more thing. I used to have a bunch of like pictures and stuff on my walls, like not family photos, like pictures and things like that. I've kind of cut down on some of that when I put everything back up. I did propose to my husband that we start a theme of like creepy medieval cat paintings, where it would be like a cat or a bunch of cats and they're like standing over a woman and she's like laying in a bed and they all look creepy.
All right, I know exactly what you're getting for Christmas next year.
If you could get whatever you're thinking of, that would be fantastic. He wasn't super excited about it. I thought about maybe just doing the basement, or like the upstairs hallway or something.
Hallway, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because I don't have anything back up in my hallway.
Yeah, I will say I have almost no pictures of people, like of our family, in our house. I have a picture from when the twins were like 1.
Okay.
And I really need to replace it because, well, they're 8.5.
Yeah.
So that one needs to go. And I had a picture from our wedding, but the TV was blocking it. So we bought a bigger TV and it had to come down.
Oh,
so that,
sure, yeah.
And then I have a picture of like each of the kids when they were infants, because I haven't taken them down or updated them.
Sure.
And that's it. But what I did buy recently that I really like is this like vinyl-y kind of map of the U.S.
I saw that when I walked in.
And you make stickers out of your own pictures for each state.
Yeah.
So you track all the states you've been to, and it's your family photos from those vacations.
I really like that. I saw it when I walked in. I really liked it. My oldest got one of those scratch-off maps for Christmas.
Yeah.
And he got a U.S. one and a global.
International,
Yeah, and we're very excited to scratch things off this summer.
Very cool. Yeah. But we really like the creating pictures of
That's
us.
so
and
cool.
They come that you just order them. Each sticker's like $2.
Oh, nice.
And so like you just order them and they put them in the exact thing, and they're just stickers that you just stick on the map. It's perfect.
I love it.
So I'm a big fan of that. That's gonna go actually above the desk, but that's like one of the few things like current I have of our family.
I have been, in spite of the fact that I'm not a big fan of school photos, I have been now buying like one of the smallest packages, and
I'm so bad about that.
Yeah, I'm not great at it.
Don't.
I do buy the digital. The digital
download,
copy a lot. And then I just like post it on Facebook
Yeah. You're like,
so
"Here you
that there's
go."
a record of it.
Yeah, I definitely have not I have definitely not purchased every year.
There were times where I
didn't.
didn't. There was a time where my oldest son was making a face that looked like he smelled something terrible. He was just like disgusted. Like his face was disgusted. And I was like, what is happening in this photo? I like showed him the proof. You know, they send home the page with like the proof. And I was like, this is not good. We are not.
I can't buy this.
We're not doing this.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, you don't need to buy it. And we
Fair.
did not. So let's drink this beer. What do we got here?
2 times Christmas or 2 Christmases? 2 Christmas. 2 Xmas.
Okay.
Spiced double ale. Brewed with orange peel, ginger root, cardamom. I don't know what that tastes like. Cinnamon, fig paste, and cloves. So you can smell the spices when you smell this.
This smells very, very festive, spicy.
Yeah, it smells almost like a mulled, like cider kind of, like that kind of a aroma to it.
Yeah,
to me.
well, and it's got that mulled like flavor, and I definitely get some of that, like you said.
Oh, the clove is
cinnamon and clove
overwhelming to me. Holy cow, there's a lot of clove in
when
that.
I did not look at what was in it before I took my first sip. And when you said the word clove,
you were like, oh,
I was just like, oh, that's what this is.
This is heavy
this is
clove.
definitely clove.
Heavy clove. I don't know what cardamom tastes like, so I have no idea what
I'm not sure I got that one in my wheelhouse. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that one is. I don't think I have that one.
Idea.
No.
I could see a little fig. It's like fig and clove to me is what this tastes like.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It's very.
I don't know if I could
very
drink
clovey.
a 6-pack of this.
I could
Sharing
not.
this bottle with you is going to be more than enough for me.
Agreed.
The sugar cookie, I could probably drink a bottle of myself and then maybe have another one.
I think the sugar cookie I actually like. It's a little bit lighter and it's an easier drinking. This one to me, don't get me wrong, it tastes like Christmas. But, like, it overwhelmingly tastes like Christmas to me. So, like, this would
like
be a
eating
limited...
a wreath.
It is. It literally is, like... It is very, very bold Christmas flavor. It does say bold and festive holiday cheer on it. I would say that is accurate
Yeah, I would
description,
definitely agree with that
but
statement.
I don't think I could drink a ton of this just based off of that.
Yeah.
Those in-your-face flavor to me.
Yeah. Yeah,
so, but
absolutely.
I will say it's Christmassy.
Yeah.
I wonder if it'd be good. No, beer's not really good warm. Like sometimes wines are tastier, like they have a different flavor warm.
I don't know if I would enjoy this more at a warmer temperature. I don't think I can say that would be the case.
I don't think so. I was just hypothesizing. I just think it's a little too on the spice side for me.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I would have a tummy ache if I drank too much.
But I'm a fan of the sugar cookie. So, and hey, they were going for Christmassy, so I can't argue if that's what they successfully got
mission
Christmassy.
Accomplished. Yeah.
So, anyways, cool. Well, if you're ever in the Lakewood, New York area, or Buffalo, or Cleveland, or a million other places,
One of those
they are,
places.
check out Southern Tier. And, it was nice chatting with you again.
Nice chatting with you again, finally.
Yes,
I loved it.
yes.
Thanks for joining us, guys, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks, everyone, for listening to the latest musings from Parenting by the Pint.
Be sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and make sure that you rate, review, and subscribe to us wherever you find your podcasts.
Have a great week, and cheers to you all.